Breaking news coming in. Prime Minister Narendra Modi and BJP National President Amit Shah are to go on a fast against the opposition for not allowing Parliament to function. All BJP MPs also to go on a day-long fast as well is what we know. So well, we have Bhupendra Chaubey with us. Bhupen, it's fast versus fast, and this is really important given the fact that the Prime Minister himself and the National President of the BJP are fasting to protest against the opposition.
Well, the facts are as follows, that this decision of the BJP to ask all its members of parliament to protest against the opposition's move of stalling parliament, this decision was officially announced a few days back itself. In fact, on the last day of parliament session, BJP President Amit Shah himself had said that all BJP MPs would be sitting on a fast to give this message to people of India that the stalling tactics that were being indulged in by opposition members were against the very basic spirit of India's democracy. Now what we're being told is the BJP president will be in Hubli, Dharwad, in Karnataka, which is an election-bound state. The Prime Minister will be in the national capital, and they will be leading all their MPs in this massive protest which is being planned by the Bharatiya Janata Party to try and take their message to the last standing person in the Indian queue of villages. This is not just going to be restricted to urban pockets. In fact, quite on the contrary, unlike the fast which really became a fast before feast for Rahul Gandhi yesterday in Rajghat, this fast which is being planned by the Bharatiya Janata Party is being planned in each and every district of India. All ministers have been told to go and spend a couple of days at houses of the poor and underprivileged towards the end of the week when Ambedkar Jayanti comes in, and in exactly 2 days time from now, which also will be 2 days before Ambedkar Jayanti, this symbolic fast, this huge move which will be made by the Bharatiya Janata Party will certainly go a long way in erasing this possibility that it's the BJP which was responsible for not functioning of the Indian Parliament.
Yes, and Bhupen, the counter narrative that the opposition is now also going to try and build, which they've been trying to do so in the past also, saying that the disruptions in Parliament were actually stage managed really by the ruling BJP, and the opposition really wasn't behind the disruptions.
I think what has happened is that post the PR disaster of Rahul Gandhi's fast yesterday, where he was at Rajghat and first his leaders were caught feasting on chola bhaturas, and then his contentious leaders like Jagdish Titer and Sajjan Kumar were also caught, and they ended up embarrassing him. I think the bigwigs within the Bharatiya Janata Party have taken this decision to sit on this fast because they believe that it will enable them to connect more with the Indian audiences.
Yes.
Right now it's all about who connects more, not just in the context of Karnataka but also in the context of the impending 2019 Lok Sabha elections. So what you will see is that while this fast will be planned, certainly there will be speeches that will be made, certainly there will be hectic political mobilization that will take place. And mind you, we're talking about all BJP MPs. We're not just talking about the Prime Minister or the BJP President. We're talking about 282 Lok Sabha MPs of the BJP, all Rajya Sabha members of Parliament, all cabinet ministers of the Bharatiya Janata Party will be participating in this protest, in this fast. Narendra Taneja, spokesperson of the BJP, joining us. Mr. Taneja, this move which has been made by the BJP now, bringing in the Prime Minister as well as the BJP President, what exactly is the motive for this fast, sir?
No, motive is very simple. First of all, to fast is nothing new as far as, the Bharatiya Janata Party is concerned and Prime Minister Amit Shah ji is concerned. It's an old tradition in the party, it's an old tradition in Gujarat in particular. But this is basically just to convey a message. You see, the message is very simple that we are, when it comes to these things, we are for peace, we are for, constructive politics, and we are for a politics of values and ethics. So that's the only message we want to convey, and this will be the true fast, unlike the Congress party, Rahul Gandhi's fast, where they were laughing and they all had gone for chole bhature and all that kind of thing. So this will be the fast so that people know what exactly the fast fast means for politicians and fast means for Bharatiya Janata Party.
Fast means Bharatiya Janata Party, all very well, sir, but at a time when the Bharatiya Janata Party, particularly in that big state of Uttar Pradesh, is coming under a lot of fire because of what has happened in Unnao and your MLA being accused of rape and all kinds of mysteries unraveling by the minute, is this fast effectively an attempt to once again bring the focus back on the constructive side of the BJP?
No, you see, the personal conduct of an individual has nothing to do with the party. That's the personal conduct of an individual where the law is going to take its own course. It doesn't really matter whether you're MP or MLA. If your personal conduct is against the law will take its own course, and the party does not associate with such things. You see, we are a large party, membership of 11 crore. There are always individuals, sometimes even in their personal conduct, they work in a manner which is, for instance, not compatible with the party's thinking. But that's what exactly the case of now. So it has nothing to do with BJP. The personal conduct of an individual, and law is taking its own course, as you know.
But what about the other criticism which has been mounted against your party, sir? We saw Bharat Bandh being observed just a few days back, and again now we saw questions being raised against your party about whether interests of Dalits were not being protected. Do you believe this fast, which symbolically is meant to protest against the opposition's behavior, is this fast also your answer to the opposition's queries that you're not looking after the interests of the poor, underprivileged and Dalits in the country?
You see, when the Dalits go out on fast and all that, that's part of the democratic process. We have no problem with that. So we are not really in response to the opposition of those people. We are more pro in the sense in India is an old tradition, thousands-year-old tradition practiced by many people, including Lord Buddha. The tradition is that when you want to convey a message, we use fast as a kind of instrument to communicate with the people, that is to convey sincerity on the issues and things like that. So that's basically what it is. It's in the Indian tradition, it's the BJP tradition, is only to communicate with the people more forcefully.
Okay, Mr. Taneja, can I just ask you to hold on, because Sanjay Jha of the Congress party also joining us. Mr. Jha, look at the optics of the fast which was indulged in by the Congress party leadership yesterday, and look at the optics now. Do you believe the Congress has already lost the plot when it comes to fasting to convey your message in a forceful manner to the people?
Bhupendra, let me tell you this. The truth is that Mr. Narendra Modi, India's Prime Minister, and I'm happy that he's getting inspired and motivated to follow what Mr. Rahul Gandhi has done. I mean, the truth of the matter is this is a perfect manifestation that end of day Mr. Rahul Gandhi is setting the agenda and now Narendra Modi is following him. But the truth is that this is not going to change any ground reality as far as the condition of the Dalits are concerned, or the overall state of the economy, or the exploitation of the farmers. End of day, yesterday, Bhupendra, why did we protest? By the way, it was not just a protest in Delhi. It was all over the country. It was in Mumbai. It was in different states, in every district, wherever the Congress workers got together. It was a pan-India protest. It was not about a personality, or it was not about one particular part of the party. And let me tell you this, Bhupendra, the BJP can try and diminish and, try and dissipate the efforts of ours by taking a picture and assuming that that is, not really genuine fasting. But the truth is, it has echoed with the people of India because everybody noticed.
But Mr. Jha, that's your viewpoint. So I look at it as a neutral bystander. And I look at pictures of Jagdish Titler and Sajjan Kumar on one hand coming up on stage, being whisked away, whatever. I look on the other hand, pictures of your leaders feasting. Now look at the optics of the Bharatiya Janata Party. You have the Prime Minister, you have the BJP President, ostensibly the top two political leaders of the country, when they stood on a fast. And now when comparisons will be drawn with what has been done by the Congress Party exactly 24 hours back, don't you think that the BJP will end up scoring brownie points?
But can I tell you one thing, Bhupendra? Just look at it at beyond the mere what I believe is the typical atmospheric or the optics that Narendra Modi is capable of. What is the truth? Can Narendra Modi answer for why the government of the day, his own government, allowed for the dilution of the SC Act? Why didn't the government argue the case? Today, for example, look at the way the Dalits have been treated. There are 5 members of parliament from the BJP who have gone on record to say that Dalits are being thrashed and beaten all over the country.
Can I get Narendra
They are not being allowed to lodge FIR.
Can I get Narendra Taneja?
Look at
Narendra Taneja. One more. Because Mr. Jha, the 5 BJP MPs that you speak about, let me also tell you, I myself have spoken to 10 BJP MPs who are writing letters to the BJP President, to the Prime Minister, that all this, what is being suggested is not right. But Mr. Taneja and D. Raja joining us as well. Mr. Taneja, firstly a rebuttal to what Sanjay Jha is saying.
No, you see, I have just 2 quick points. First of all, he said that Mr. Rahul Gandhi is setting the agenda. You see, Congress is a small regional party. It's not a national party anymore, what it used to be. For us, the agenda is set by the people. We go by the agenda set by the people of this country. They set the agenda and we try a little best to deliver on the agenda. Number one. Number 2, as far as we have a couple of MPs who have talked about different things, but there's democracy in the party. They can have their personal ambitions, sometimes have their personal ambitions and what the party can deliver.
So were those MPs speaking because of their personal ambitions, Mr. Taneja? Were those MPs speaking because of their personal agendas? Is that what you say?
No, you see, what I'm basically saying is that they can have the personal ambitions and they can have the same party can have its own ambition. Sometimes there can be incompatibility and people can talk in public on issues like that. But our focus is on Dalits and what the party is doing, what we have done for the Dalits, since we came to power, that's historic. Congress party against Dr. Ambedkar, Mr. Jagjeevan Ram, and the list goes on and on and on. Dalits know what the party is doing for them, and that's important for us. What Congress and Janewdari Brahmins think about it doesn't really matter to us.
Okay, Mr. Taneja, thanks so much for joining us. You need to go. Hopefully, we'll have Taneja with us on Viewpoint in the evening as well. But Sanjay Jha, look at the optics. Look at the optics. Look at the atmospherics as you describe it. The atmospherics seem to be loaded against the Congress party. The facts on the ground are what? The facts on the ground appear to be that the Bharatiya Janata Party, it may be feeling a little wary with all this aggressive onslaught which has been indulged in by the Congress party, but surely the atmospherics, you would agree with me, seem to be loaded in favor of the Bharatiya Janata Party at this stage.
Let me tell you, there is a very popular quote and it applies here. It's very appropriate here actually. It says, imitation is the best form of flattery. And I think Narendra Modi and Amit Shah, clearly seeing the writing on the wall where Karnataka is concerned, will now have to worry because end of day the Dalits who have been persecuted and harassed and exploited all over the country since Mr. Modi became Prime Minister are now actually getting onto the streets and demonstrating that fact that they are not going to take things lying down. The kind of humiliation they went through in Una, what happened with Rohit Vemula, the Bhimgaon, the Koregaon, episode that happened. I think all these are manifestations of a larger disillusionment and disenchantment with the false promises made by Narendra Modi's government. And that is not going to change by Narendra Modi not, going on a fast. I think ours was the one that set the pace. And let me tell you, this is not just the Congress party. I think all opposition parties are united because they do see that the ideological, shall we say, hostility that the BJP has towards the Dalits is now surfacing. You can't conceal it overnight. And therefore, I think look at the words used by Udit Raj or, Mr. Savitri Bai.
Yes, sir, but all of them, when you ask them, Sanjay Jha, they all of them also say that these were mere warning signs, cautionary signs that we have apprised the Prime Minister of and we remain with the Bharatiya Janata Party, and the Bharatiya Janata Party remains a party to be as far as Dalits are concerned. But thanks so much for joining us. Sogato Roy of the Trinamool Congress joining us as well. Sogato, how do you look at this? Now the Prime Minister and the BJP President now sitting on a day-long fast, leading the agitation which was planned earlier on behalf of their party members to protest against the stalling tactics of parties such as like yourselves in this session which has just been washed out in Parliament, sir.
I see this by the Prime Minister as an entire gimmick. The Prime Minister never takes any interest in affairs of the Parliament. He rarely comes to Parliament. If he comes, he sits for 5 minutes and leaves. So he is not concerned about Parliament any case.
No, but how is it a gimmick?
Are you
saying Rahul Gandhi's fast was also a gimmick, then, Sogato? What Rahul Gandhi was doing yesterday, was that also a gimmick?
I thought you were questioning me about Narendra Modi's fast.
Sir, but that's very unfair, sir. Very unfair. But sir, if you say, I like what you say, Sogato. You're a senior leader, sir. Therefore, I must ask you in all humility, if you say what the Prime Minister and the BJP President are doing is a gimmick, then why should I not ask you that was Rahul Gandhi also indulging in gimmickry? What's the difference between the two then?
Rahul Gandhi belongs to the opposition. Opposition has to protest in any way. So the opposition protested. Whether it was good or bad is for people to judge. So, but the Prime Minister going on a fast is an entire gimmick.
All right.
It's the job of the Prime Minister to rule the country.
But he wants to protest against the opposition.
To run the government.
Today he wants the
job of the Prime Minister to run the Parliament.
Today,
Today,
Prime Minister wants to give this message to the people of the country that it's the opposition which is to be blamed. But thanks so much, Sogato, for joining us on this top story. Now, where exactly will the Prime Minister be fasting? Where will the BJP President be fasting? And how is it going to impact future political discourse? We need to look at that very closely. Right through our prime time today, we'll be looking at this business of competitive fasting. Majid Memon, NCP MP, also joining us. Majid Bhai, thank you so much for joining us. Is this move which is being made by the Prime Minister and the BJP President, does it spell trouble for the opposition? Do you believe all this momentum which was built by the opposition through this Parliament session which has been washed out, will this now take away the entire heat?
Well, not at all. You see, as a matter of fact, in a democracy, it is something so very shocking and astonishing that the executive head, the person with the highest power in the country in democracy, is himself agitating, is himself on the fast. What does he expecting? Some blessings from Almighty? Who else is above him to do or undo something? He is the last word as the Prime Minister of India. And we are wondering as to what is he agitating for. And in the
He wants to protest
BJP,
against the opposition. He wants to protest against the opposition, sir.
You see, have you ever heard of the executive head protesting against the opposition by doing this kind of a public gimmick of fasting or agitating on the street or something of that kind? Have you ever heard of it in democracy? But this is something his advisors ought to have told him, that it is much, you see, below his stature that he should resort to this.
No, but now, you know what is now coming out? What is now coming out, sir? What is now coming out very clearly is that the Prime Minister will continue with his work. The BJP President will continue with his campaigning. They will be leading this protest. Now, it's a day-long protest which has been planned by the Bharatiya Janata Party, with the Prime Minister and the BJP President leading this protest. Does it not give it a slightly edgier, a bit of a more edge in comparison to what the opposition was planning right through this Parliament session?
I don't think, you see, it's going to make any dent, you see, in the mindset of the people. And this is a kind of a desperate attempt to win the sympathies of the people, which I am afraid is not going to get the desired dividend.
Okay. All right, Majid Menon, thanks so much for joining us. I think there, we got a very clear picture in terms of what's happening. The Prime Minister